We're already past 15 minutes, which is crazy. The show's going to be awesome. I'm live with my friend of the channel. Let's Talk Wolves, Timberwolves Talk. His Twitter link is down below. Go check him out. He's a great follow and everything. And I feel like I let you guys down as a host of a Phoenix Suns channel because it's nearly 16 minutes and we haven't even talked about the man of the hour, Kevin freaking Durant. Let's play his drop. Kevin freaking Durant returns, makes his Phoenix Suns home debut. I'm going to keep repeating that because it was his home debut tonight. And struggled a little bit, but that's okay because, because one, Jalen McDaniels locked him down. I can't wait to hear your thoughts on that, by the way. Again, honorable mention to Kyle Anderson, a few possessions. But you know what, man? Coming back from injury, they were even talking about it on the broadcast that he apparently was pretty much locked away in the weight room and was putting on what they called overall weight. And, you know, he said the ankle felt good. His warm up went well and everything. And I'm sure there was a little bit of nerves too. I totally understand that. Like, I kind of thought he was a little nervous in his first game with the Suns, but a good kind of nervous. Yeah. And obviously, Jalen McDaniels played excellent defense on him. But Kevin Durant still finished with 16 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. And the playmaking tonight was fantastic. And I'm sure you know this, but Kevin Durant's defense tonight was just incredible. It kind of reminded me of just what Jalen McDaniels and even like Kyle Anderson were doing at times, just contesting shots, being there at the right time, making life difficult for whoever was in front of him. And Kevin Durant does that. And another thing I noticed is, like, when the Suns were down and Kevin Durant would get the rebound or just he would have the ball, he would just kind of slow things down a little bit. It was Chris Paul-esque. I thought he was fantastic. So before we talk about the defense by Jaden McDaniels, what did you see out of KD tonight, man? Anything that maybe I didn't mention?
Yeah, kind of just like the nerves part. I didn't think about that until now, but when he did have a few like wide open shots that he normally would hit, he kind of missed a lot of those kind of like wide open ones. And
those give me shots.
Yeah, and he's going to make that the next game 10 times out of 10. He's never missing that shot. So I thought, like, obviously the nerves and maybe and obviously the defense for McDaniels and everything, or maybe when he did have those wide open shots, he maybe assumed that McDaniels is going to be coming right out of the corner or something too. But I think that's a good point. The nerves probably did get to him because he's not missing that shot again.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I was saying. I was like, next game he's going to be so locked in. Like, I'm scared for the other team about what he's going to do next game. But I thought he was great, man. And again, it just goes to show that even though it was kind of like I joked earlier, I was like, Kevin Durant's in the game. Booker was like, cool, like, hold my beer. I got this. Like, Devin Booker took over. Chris Paul had a phenomenal game. And we're going to talk about Chris Paul in a little bit here. But like, the Suns team is just so deep for a reason. I thought our bench was really good. And I have some stats I want to talk about later about our bench because our bench has been absolutely huge lately. And we're going to need our bench, headed into the playoffs if we want to have playoff success. I thought Kevin Durant was great. And you know what, man? It's Kevin Durant, dude. He can have a bad night here and there. I'm fine with that. It's his 4th game with the Suns, his first game back in 3 weeks, coming off of a freak accident with the ankle injury and everything. And he still finished with 16, 8, and 4. I'm fine with that. And he was on a minutes restriction. I'm fine with that, man. I don't really know where I'm going with all this, but that's my opinion on Kevin Durant, man.
Yeah, I mean, you can only hold him down so long. 16. He still had 16, 8, and 4. Yeah, like, exactly. That just shows you the talent level. Any other player, he's probably a minus 20 something and has like 5 points on, whatever shooting, on 30% of shooting from a field. So it's Kevin Durant, man.
And I believe in the 4th quarter, he had back-to-back threes, I believe. Yeah. And that was kind of when I was like, okay, Kevin Durant's going to be fine. We're going to be fine. I wasn't like, when he hit those threes, I wasn't like, oh, we're going to win the game. But that was kind of when I was like, okay, the Suns are waking up here. Those threes were huge. I mean, who knows if we even win this game without those threes? And that's just what Kevin Durant does, man. But another player that I want to talk about is the man that actually could hit some shots today, and that was Devin Booker.
Devin Armani Booker.
Devin freaking Booker, 36 minutes tonight, 8 for 18 from the field, went to the free throw line 12 times, or excuse me, 15 times, hit 12 of them. We're going to talk about the free throws later because I do kind of want to get your opinion on just the officiating, like in this game and overall as a league. I probably should have told you that earlier, but finished with 29 points, 5 assists, 4 steals, 3 turnovers, and 4 fouls. Again, we're going to have probably a long conversation about the officiating later. Or at least I want to hear your take on it because it's been, we'll dive into that later. But, and you know what, man, I'm going to cheat here a little bit. I kind of want to give Devin Booker 2 extra points because there was one play where he kind of blew past Nikhil Walker-Alexander and was a little bit patient with it and flipped it up in the air and just kind of rolled out. I was like,
he should have gone up for the layup or.
I was just going to say, I swear to God, Booker looked at the rim like, what the hell, man? Like, he was incredible, though. Beyond that, just he was getting whatever he wanted out there, just absolutely took over. I think he was hyped that Kevin Durant was back. And again, man, just doing anything and everything he could out there. He was incredible. Did you see anything from Booker out there that I maybe failed to mention?
I just kind of thought he just kind of controlled the entire game.
Yeah.
Just
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, it really just kind of felt like whatever was happening momentum-wise, Devin Booker was at the front of it.
Yep, absolutely, man. And again, I also want to talk about Chris Paul too, because again, I don't know how many Suns games you've watched this year, how much you've really been following, but he has had sort of an up and down year. But I've always defended Chris Paul because he's had nights like tonight where he has sort of had a quiet, and I mean this respectfully, maybe an overlooked performance. And tonight he was great. He hit some big shots when we needed them. Played 35 minutes, by the way, 19 points, 6 assists, 2 steals on 7 for 15 shooting. And obviously having Kevin Durant out there is going to open up so much space and opportunities. And that was what I saw a lot of from Chris Paul tonight. I mean, he only hit 1 3, but he had a lot of those mid-range shots that we all know and love from Chris Paul and just attacked when he could and got to the basket when he could and just made points. And that's what we need Chris Paul to do. And kind of like what you mentioned with Devin Booker, controlled the game. And like I mentioned with Kevin Durant, like slowed things down a little bit, got the guys in their spots when they needed to be. That's what Chris Paul does, man. There's been games out there where he'll finish with like 8 points, but like 12 assists. And maybe he didn't shoot as much. Like, we don't need Chris Paul to score. With or without KD, we really don't need Chris Paul to score. We just need him to set our guys up. And again, man, like, this is another game where I'm like, if Chris Paul doesn't hit those shots, who knows if we win this game, just like with KD, you know, those back-to-back threes and all that. I thought Chris Paul was great tonight. I've always kind of defended Chris Paul, but I've also had to admit to myself that he is slowing down a little bit. It sucks, but he is slowing down. So any thoughts on that, man?
I hate Chris Paul.
Okay, moving on.
He's burned us so many times over the years. The stupid jersey on top where he's always snitching. Wolves fans hate him. He always somehow has something up his sleeve against us. He's a great player. I know, like, I'll respect his game. At the trade deadline, I said I want Minnesota somehow to figure out a way.
I remember we talked about that.
Yeah, but I do hate him. But he's just a really good player.
Exactly, man. One of the greatest point guards this league has ever seen. Real quick, everybody, do me a huge favor. Absolutely just crush that like button. Share the show. Follow my guest, Let's Talk Wolves, on Twitter. Check out his stuff. He's a great follow. He is my Timberwolves insider, my Timberwolves expert, if you will. And I do appreciate him being on the show. And I hope you guys are enjoying this show. We're just talking all things Suns and Wolves this game. Sure, we're going to be diving into some other conversations here in a little bit.